Hey guys, it's me, Vinny. I want to come and make a big breaking news. Even though this came out about an hour ago, I still want to make a big post about this. The NFL is not messing around. They are not effing around when they're taking the COVID protocols very seriously. They know the situations that happened last year with the Titans and the Patriots and the Ravens, and how they had to maneuver the schedule so many times. I mean, we had the late night Thanksgiving game between the Ravens and the Steelers pushed back to Wednesday afternoon because of a massive outbreak with the Ravens. But there's a chance that it's likely that right now the NFL just confirmed that next year they are not going to be as lenient with these teams. If you're going to get an outbreak and the players are unvaccinated, it's going to be a very bad time. Look, Tom Pelissero from NFL Network posted about this, so I'm going to show what it says. As it says right here, he says the NFL has just informed clubs that if a game cannot be rescheduled during the 18-week season in 2021, remember, there was an extra game added, 17 games, due to a COVID-19 outbreak among unvaccinated players, the team with the outbreak will forfeit. That's right, guys, forfeit. When was the last time you've seen teams actually forfeit their games? Must have been ages, decades. The last time games had to be canceled was because games had to be canceled was because of strikes. And it says they'd be credited with a loss for playoff seeding. Per sources, massive implications. Yes, guys, this is massive implications. This is something that the NFL you most always never see them do. And Pelissero is even saying right here, I'm sorry, I need to show you what they're saying because this is where the news is really coming from. He says, here's more from today's memo, which also says the team responsible for a canceled game because of an outbreak among unvaccinated players and staff will be responsible for massive financial losses and subject to potential discipline from the commissioner. Wow. Wow is right. And this is what he has to say. I can't really, I kind of zoom up on here just so you can see it. He says here, this will be to summarize the key operating principles relating to the addressing containing COVID-19 threat to the 2021 season. We will review these principles related matters on the 32 club call this evening. The principles are based on last season's experience and outside discussions and many of you. As we learned from last year, we can play a full season. We maintain a firm commitment to altering your health and safety protocols, to making needed adjustments in response to changing conditions. These operating principles are designated to allow and play a full season in a safe and responsible way and to address possible competitive and financial issues fairly. While there is a question to health and conditions have improved from last year, we cannot complacent or simply assume that we will be able to play without interruption, either due to COVID outbreaks among our clubs or outbreaks that can occur within the larger community. These principles are intended to help inform discussions, reorganizing that in 2020 we will need to remain flexible and adapt to possibly changing conditions. Massive news. And it says medical principles we will maintain. Basically just says that I'm trying to look at what it says right here. It says, I can't really see it. The font is way too small. But basically Tom Pelissero is basically saying the league intends to play its entire 272 game schedule over 18 weeks, 17 games per club. That's new for this season. And here's the key. We do not anticipate adding a 19th week to accommodate games and cannot be rescheduled within the current 18 weeks of the regular season. Play on time or don't play. There's the warning, guys. Play on time, get vaccinated, don't mess around. So if you're someone like Cole Beasley here, if someone on your team ends up getting the virus, and if you don't have the vaccine, if they don't reschedule that, you're in bad hands, man. You're in bad hands, Buffalo. I'm sorry, you just are. You just are. Cole Beasley was making a fool of himself online, and the NFL is not messing around. Play on time or don't play. Similar as that. Other key competitive aspect of today's memo. Vaccinated individuals who test positive and are asymptomatic can return on duty after 2 negative tests 24 hours apart. Unvaccinated individuals will be subject to mandatory 10-day isolation period. Shit. More strong language from today's memo. Every club is obligated under the Constitution and bylaws to have its team ready to play at the scheduled time and place. A failure to do so is deemed a conduct detrimental, and there is no right to postpone a game. Whoa. Like, the whole talk about a 17-game season for this entire league. And there might be a case that if a team happens to mess around, they could end up only playing 16 games. They can end up forfeiting a game. That's massive. That's going to hurt them very, very massively. So what is it going to be? Is it going to be like a 2-0 win in the record books? I mean, whatever it is, a forfeit's a forfeit. A loss is a loss. And they lost themselves. They're being serious. I've never seen stuff like this from the NFL. This is how serious they are. And Pelissero continued, this is the NFL's strongest step yet to incentivize vaccinations. In a sense, vaccinating status dictates action. If a club cannot play due to a COVID spike in vaccinated individuals, we will attempt to minimize the competitive economic burden on both participating teams. Here's the precise language from today's NFL member that would trigger a forfeit. This is the entire language that it says, and I'm going to zoom in on it. Every club is obliged under the Constitution and bylaws to have a team ready to play. Postponements will only occur if required government authorities, medical experts, or commissioner's direction. In light of the substantial roster flexibility in place of the 2021 season, absent medical considerations or government directives, games will not be postponed or rescheduled simply to avoid roster issues caused by injury or illness affecting multiple players, even within a position group. If a game is canceled / postponed because of a club cannot play due to a COVID spike among or resulting from its non-vaccinated player / staff, then the burden of cancellation and delay will fall on the club experiencing the COVID infection. We will seek to minimize the burden on the opposing club or clubs. If a club cannot play due to a COVID spike in vaccinated individuals, we will attempt to minimize the competitive and economic burden on both participating teams. Whether to reschedule a postponed game will be dependent on healthy and safety reasons at the recommendation of medical experts, as well as considerations of stadium availability, schedule integrity, fan convenience, and others appropriate measures. If the game cannot be scheduled within the current 18-week schedule and is canceled due to a COVID outbreak among non-vaccinated players on one of the competing teams, the club with the outbreak will forfeit the contest and will deem to have played 16 games for purposes for draft, waiver priority, etc. For the purposes of playoff seeding, the forfeiting team will be credited with a loss and the other team will be credited with a win. That's massive news. For draft, waiver priority, etc. But for playoff seeding, this could honestly affect your chances of, like, let's say the Bills, for instance, are winning the division, and they get a loss because of a COVID outbreak. So that means a team like, let's say, the Dolphins or the Patriots can overtake them. Now, I'm not trying to just punish on the Bills. I'm just saying in general. This might be a much ado about nothing. You might not see this, but the NFL is making a strong statement. And the NFL says that as for justification to continue to increase benefits for vaccinated individuals, the NFL cites CDC data in major hospital systems and, quote, we know that vaccines are safe and effective are the best step to anyone who dealt with the coronavirus. The vaccines continue to provide strong immunity against variants of the coronavirus, including the Delta variant. Even with the recent increases in new cases remain far back below the peak levels earlier this year, both the CDC and major hospital systems throughout the country have reported that 97% or more of the new cases and virtually hospitalizations are seen to unvaccinated individuals. I'm so shocked by this. I'm sure no one could have saw this coming. I'm so shocked that there's far more unvaccinated people that are getting sick than vaccinated. But the vaccines don't do anything. Max don't do anything. Give me a break. Even Fox News has a whole entire, they have an entire protocol with the vaccines. And hell, now, apparently there's actually a report, not even joking, that the Biden administration has actually spoken to Fox News and probably OAN and Newsmax as well. And now you're seeing people like Sean Hannity and Steve Ducey saying, get vaccinated, get vaccinated. For a long time, they were always skeptical of the vaccines, but I think because of it, they're kind of forced to. And it says this is the biggest penalty of all players. If a game is canceled and cannot be rescheduled within the 18-week schedule due to a COVID outbreak and neither team's players receive their weekly paragraph 5 salary, no one gets paid. Yes, that is right. The money talks. And if this happens, the player will not receive any pay for that week. I wonder how the right wing is gonna view this. Actually, I wonder how they're gonna view this. My personal guess is that they're gonna say that the NFL, oh, it's too woke. It's the NFL's woke. It's trying to cater to the mob. No, it's not. And keep in mind, most of the owners are Republican. Keep that in mind too. Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft were very big fans of Donald Trump, and they're even saying this. The fact of the matter is that this is not a political issue. This should not be a political issue. But just like everything in this country, you could argue everything is a political issue. And this is not a surprise in the slightest with how everything's been going. But I'm gonna look at what the comments say, because I'm curious what people are saying. Okay. Shep33 says, "This is so sad. We're being controlled and nobody wants to wake up and see the big picture and read between the lines. This is the final straw and won't be watching this year now, even though I've always watched for free anyways." Really, man? That's your final straw? Not the stuff that some of the owners have done or some shit the players done up, but this is what it does? Give me a break, guys. Like, I think your priorities are straight. They get vaccinated, paid, not die, and almost like they should have done in the first place. Yeah, this is... Yeah, neither team's players received their weekly paragraph 5 salary. Oh, shit, I just realized. No one gets paid, so no one on either team gets paid. Oh, geez, that's gonna be bad. I feel like that's not gonna be seen very well by certain individuals, because they're gonna say, "Hey, you know, it wasn't my fault, but now I'm gonna get paid because of him." I think it's gonna also cause a lot of bitterness between fans and also fans of other teams. Oh man. This is also getting a lot of traction, but I'm noticing there's getting a lot of quote tweets here. And usually when there's a lot more quote tweets, that means usually people are very pissed off. Let's see. Eden Sanders show said, if and cannot be rescheduled, big stipulation that needs to happen when the NFL doesn't lose money in games. NFL throwing hammers and unvaccinated unsafe players risk costing a team game a playoff spot and money. Whoa, not effing around. NFLPA is S. Yeah, people really hate the NFLPA. All the people in like the media, some of the people in the media that are very big for the NFLPA, they basically tend to degrade them too, which it's ridiculous, honestly. I bet the dumbass Beasley. Yeah, Beasley has to get a shot now at this point, but he's probably going to say it's not our Constitution, even though it's in the bylaws, and they are a private institution, so they could do whatever they want. You know, that's part of the First Amendment. You know, this is very interesting NFL news. We are all looking at you, Beasley, if your teammates. Yeah, everyone's going after Cole Beasley here because Cole Beasley going to find a be sick. Freedom, Michael Salfino from neither team's players. Kirk Benkert, Omar Alfaro, Hunter Biden, Barack Dealer, vaccine safe, vaccine worth, well played NFL. Yeah, so as everything else in this country, it's a very mixed reaction. Some are praising and saying that, hell, Beasley needs to get the virus. Beasley needs to get the vaccine. Beasley needs to get the vaccine now. But I wonder how Beasley's going to be seen, because he's been seen as like a poster child of like the right wing loves him now because of that. But like I know that Josh Allen isn't getting the virus, isn't going to get the vaccine either. Like, oh, geez, this is big news. This is major news. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Let's see this also. Three of the four teams, let's see. Rob Maddie says Washington, Arizona, Indianapolis, and Los Angeles. So both the Washington football team, the Arizona Cardinals, the Indianapolis Colts, and the Los Angeles Chargers remain under 50% vaccination. Under 50%. Under 50% for COVID-19. And then the Pittsburgh Steelers, Miami Dolphins, Carolina Panthers, and Denver Broncos have the highest rate and are among 7 teams with at least 85% vaccinated. If this isn't going to give those other 4 teams the kick in the ass they need to get vaccinated, I don't know what will. I don't know what will at this point. Because honestly, at this point, It's also saying that the teams on the lower end of the spectrums can potentially face competitive disadvantages, especially in the NFL. Oh, I mean, they're saying that the Seahawks could potentially. I mean, right here, field goals, SB Nation says, so this is irrelevant again with the whole you will forfeit if this game gets canceled ultimatum by the NFL. We don't know the Seahawks vaccination rate, but 3 of the 4 teams on the low end of this list are on Seattle's schedule. That is correct. And Washington is a Monday Night Football game, too. That is correct. Looking at the Seahawks schedule, pulling it up right now. And the Seattle Seahawks. Yeah, they have the Colts first week of the season, and then they have the Colts. They have Washington, and they have the Cardinals, obviously considering their division rivals. So that's potentially four games they could lose. Potentially 4 games. Not too good. Not too good at all. But they are against the Steelers because of the 17th game, so that could be good for them. But just absolutely insane. Just absolutely insane. I just can't wrap my head around it. I think you need to get vaccinated, guys. No matter the institution, they're going to want you to get vaccinated. And no, it's not a human rights issue. Give me a break. No. It is just the thing you need to do. You have to get vaccinated. As simple as that. As simple as that. Plain and simple. Can't look at it any other way. At all. Anyway, guys, tell me what you think in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video, subscribe for more, hit notification bell to be notified as soon as possible. I'll tune you guys next time, and please get vaccinated, guys. Your life and maybe even your team could depend on it. See ya.